Welcome back. Today's not a crazy mission. We're just gonna tie some dry flies for my box. They're gonna be small because it's spring, and maybe we'll do some 14s, but I'm thinking 16s, 18s. Mayfly patterns, because that's how we catch them this time of the year. They're going to be simple. These are going to be for my box, so we'll keep them small. We'll keep them simple. 3 or 4 is all I need. I'm going to go fishing on Tuesday, so I need these for my box. We'll do with brown thread. We'll do a brown UTC 70. The tail of these, we'll use the Coq de Leon, which is, in my opinion, the greatest tail fiber ever. And then body, maybe we'll do some with the stripped peacock, and then the rest will be the dubbing, superfine dubbing, olive, superfine, maybe a few gray, and then the stripped peacock is dark. So we'll start with our hook. We'll start with some 18s. We'll see how many we can do. Usually these go pretty fast. A little thread base. And then tail fibers. This is the feather we use for the tail. It's called Coq de Leon. And then tail fibers, I'm just doing two fibers. It's really minimal, very sparse, but I like to tie them long. They almost always break off after a couple fish, and I live with it. There's 3 here, which is fine. So the tail fiber, I think it should be, I do it about the same length as the shank of the hook. I don't know if that's a rule. And then tying it in, I tie it slightly off, and then I let it roll on top. Slightly off and roll on top. I don't do anything to spread. You could try to splay the fibers, but I think a nice tight wrap at the base spreads it enough. Then we finish. The thing I'm worried about for the dry fly is the taper. The body taper is something I pay attention to. So we'll use the peacock quill for this body. This one's dyed purple. We're gonna try to use it anyway. I'm gonna strip the quill by running my thumb and forefinger down the quill. No, I'm not pressing hard, but the repeated movement will start taking off the peacock fibers from the quill, leaving a clean quill. For nymphs, I can leave some of the hair on the quill, but for the dry, I want a pretty clean quill. Strip it. You can do the feather quill as well. And let's clean it a bit more. Let's clean them a bit more. And a little bit more. It's not perfect, but good enough. All right, so the quill has a taper, and I don't want to tie it in butt first, but the butt section is the strongest. I want to tie it in tip first, not all the way to the tip. We didn't clean the whole. We didn't clean the whole quill, so just the part we cleaned. We're going to tie that in. I'm going to do a couple wraps here, down toward the middle, wrap it back, and then maybe one more time. And so there's a thread buildup toward the middle, less thread toward the tail, and then I'll tie in the peacock quill. And then we'll tie it all the way back. Then we'll advance our thread pretty close to the eye, about there. Wrapping the peacock quill. Some people like to get a nice tight wrap. I don't really worry about that. Exposing the thread, it doesn't matter to me. I want the color of the quill. And so there's a little gap. So a little gap between the quill and thread, not too big, hardly noticeable. But I don't need it, super, super tight. Tie it off, give it a trim. Let's do the wing. The wing, we'll use a natural CDC. I have several packages of the natural. I have one package that has really good feathers, so I'm looking for it. I think, yeah, maybe this big package. So the natural CDC color, I don't think this is dyed, but the fibers are really thin, okay? Very thin, still floaty and light, but then some other CDC, there's different kinds of CDC. So something like, let's see, something like, yeah, this is Nature Spirit. This one's dyed. This is a dyed Calabatis color, but the feather looks different. Usually has a longer stem, got kind of a fluffier look. The natural is more symmetrical, thinner fibers. Both are good. You could strip the fluffy ones and to do wings and hackles, but I'm going to use the natural, and then bigger. You have to sort through the feathers. So the bigger one, we'll use one side for the hackle, and then for the wing, we'll use a smaller one. God, I cannot coordinate. So the package has little tiny feathers like this, and then they have big feathers like this. You got to sort them. The small ones are good for the wing. The big ones are good for the hackles. So we'll get two smallies. For a fly this size, one feather is actually enough. Yeah, we'll keep it simple. Keep it simple. I'm gonna tie so the point of the feather is pointing toward the eye of the hook. I do one loose wrap and then draw the feather back till I get the desired wing length. I don't care about the position right now. I'm worried about the length. That looks about good. Slightly shorter than the length of the hook. That looks about right. Then I'm gonna tie it down. I'm gonna bring the feather up and then tie in front. And that should hold the feather in place. Slight forward tilt, I don't mind. And then trim off the back end and finish. Now we're gonna wrap our hackle. We'll take the bigger one and then we'll just clip one side. Clip one side. Is this a good clip? I think so. One side might be even too much for this, so don't overdress. Don't overdress. But so we'll leave some of them out. Yeah, we'll take the top part out. So about that much material. We're gonna split our thread. Our thread is not spun up. It's a UTC 70 thread. It's super thin, but it will split, and you should split. Don't do a thread loop. There's too much buildup. So from the backside with your bodkin, just start running it under, flattening the thread out. It'll flatten out, and then it'll separate itself, and then you just poke the bodkin through, and the thread will separate. Hold it up. Hold it up 90. Insert your clip. Let the thread hit the material, and then remove it. And your material's now in the thread. We're gonna give her a spin, and give her another spin. Stop the spin. And then can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Let the material spin up. With your index and thumb, run your finger up the thread, spin it up more. Spin it up more. And that's good. I'm gonna preen the fibers to one side. There's some long ones. That's good, I don't care. And then my first wraps are gonna be behind the wing until I get to the material. And I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3. Essentially, I want just one wrap in front of the wing. So that's 4. I have a little bit left. I'm gonna lift the wing up and then finish in front. That was too many in front, but you want more in the back than in the front. That's the key point. We'll let our thread unwind since we spun, creating the loop, material loop. We spun it up too much, so we'll let it unwind. While we're letting it unwind, we'll kind of clean up the longs. Keeping a few isn't bad. And don't try to make everything even. The beauty of this material is that it's not even. There is some variability, and that helps it when it's fishing. That's good. Yeah, maybe one more here, one more here. Yeah, there we go. It's got some legs, it's got a wing, it's got a tail. That's all you need. We'll let that unwind a little bit more, then we'll tie it off and we'll start another one. Looks good. So a small fly like this, I'll tilt it, and then so I can see where I'm whip finishing. The hook eye is down, and I really don't want to trap the CDC or cover the hook eye. So I tilt it so I can see it, and then tie it off. 1, 2. I missed it. 2. That'll be good. And then one more. 1, 2. Oh, I'm missing them. I'm missing them. 1, 2. Tie it off. All right. I'll try to show the fly, but I don't know if you can see it. A baetis is a small mayfly. Small, usually dark, but brown, olive, some kinds of gray. Yeah, the tail worked out nicely. Where's my... And that's what we got. That's what we got. What the heck? That's what we got. Little mayfly pattern. And this will fish well in the spring. This will also fish well in the late fall. Summertime, not fishing that guy, fishing something bigger. Springtime, fishing the baetis. But if you were fishing in Colorado, you're fishing that thing year round. Those and pale morning duns, PMDs, which is the same thing, but you just change the color of the abdomen and the wing. All right, let's do another one. We'll keep the same color thread. A little thread base. I need to do a better job of minimizing the tag to minimize the wasted thread. Need to do a better job of that. Let's get 3 or 2 or 3 Coq de Leon fibers for the tail. We'll tie in our tail a little bit long because that's how I like them. If you look at a natural mayfly, they have really super long tails. So I like a super long tail. I know some people don't. And the tail fibers are the first to go. So now this one, we're not going to use the peacock hurl stem to wrap the body. We're going to use the superfine dubbing. Superfine. This is an olive. You could blend an olive and a black, but if you were, I don't think there's any alternative product. If you're dubbing a dry fly, use superfine. Don't you try to use rabbit. Don't try to use muskrat. Don't try. I know some of the old school Adams patterns use the those natural materials, but the superfine is, in my opinion, the gold standard for dry fly dubbing. I don't know who makes it. I probably have a package I could tell you. When I'm doing the dubbing rope, I am adding the material to the rope with a soft spin. The material is loose right now. It looks like this. And then because I'm focusing on the distribution. Now I'm going to tighten it down. I'm only going to spin one way. The biggest mistake I see is people are rolling it, like rolling, spinning it one way, spinning it back, spinning it one way. No, you want to go spin it one way. So just one motion, this kind of motion, not back and forth, back and forth. So one way, until it's tight. There's more toward the end, so I can create my taper. The first few wraps are very sparse. It should be very thin. coming up a little bit thicker, 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 a little bit thicker. You want to try to avoid having to go back and like dub on top of dubbing. That's what you could, if you have to do it, you have to do it. But that's kind of what you want to avoid. The body is dubbed. I have extra dubbing. I'm not going to go back and put it on. I'm just going to start taking it off. Just gently removing it. And now tighten it back up. Finish the dub. Very close to the eye. When I tie in the wing, it will be on top of the dubbing a little bit. Do I change the color or keep the color? Yeah, we'll keep the color. So I have a smallie for the wing. Tie it in. The butt section is pointing toward the tail. The tips are pointing toward the eye. 1 loose wrap, 2 loose wraps. Give her a tug till you get the appropriate wing length. I think longer is better than short. Shorter. I don't know. Most people, do people mess up the wing length? Yeah, that's good. I tend to do longer wings, and it will fish fine. Trim off the butt. Our wing is now just pointing forward. That's okay. We'll pick it up and then put a few wraps in front, and that will help it stand up a little bit. All right, now we'll do the same thing. We'll clip some CDC to make a hackle. I had the old feather. Where did it go? Ideally, we'll use that old feather that we just used. Are you kidding me? Lost it. Can't have lost it. I just used it. What? Hopefully we find it. So we're going to use a new feather here. And we preen the fibers so they're sticking out. That'll make it easier to clip. We just want to clip one side. Nice and tight. And then we'll trim it off. Trim it off the stem, hopefully in one swipe. We're not going to lose this one. We'll put this one right there so we don't lose it. Our thread should be ready to split. Run, flatten it out. Find the seam in the thread. Found it. Split it. Open it. Place the material close to the top of the loop. Gently let the thread go around the material. Ooh, something's catching. This is not a clean clip. Oh, we still got it. Spin up the material. Spin. Preen to one side. Wraps behind the wing. 1, 2, 3. Lift up the wing, put one wrap in front. 1, 2. And let your thread unwind. We got a wing, we got a tail, we got legs. This is a mayfly. Take some from the bottom there. Leave some long. Yeah, leave some longies, but take a few. That's good. And maybe do one more. You gotta let the thread unwind. You can't help it either. It's gotta do it on its own. Got to do it on its own. All right. Let's go ahead and whip finish. I don't know why the last one was so hard to whip finish. That's one. And then that's two. I don't put head cement or glue on my dry fly heads. The head doesn't seem to come undone. The body, the tail will always be damaged before the thread in the head. All right, finished with fly number two. We'll give it a, we'll show you the fly number one, darker body, fly number two, a little bit more olive body, but we're tying baetis, small mayflies. That's what we got. All right, one more, different style, no CDC. Can it be done? Can it be done? I don't know. Oh, you could do a. I did this one earlier. The no hackle sparkle done, but sparkle done isn't a great baetis pattern. Woo, yeah. So let's do no one with no CDC, but we'll do it slightly larger. I'll do one slightly larger. We can find the hook. Here's a 16. So those are 18s. Here's a 16. And we'll do, what will we do? We're just going to freestyle this. We'll just freestyle this one. A little thread base. And we'll do Coq de Leon for the tail. 3 fibers. Tying the tail nice and long. One loose wrap, 2 loose wrap. Oh, that's real long. Bring it down the back just a bit. Yeah, there we go. And finished. Give it a trim. We could use the like a polypropylene yarn for the wing. This would be kind of interesting. So we'll blend the polypropylene. We'll do, this is a darker one. And then we have a gray. We have the gray. We have the dark and then the gray. We'll blend that later. And then we will do a CDC body. Yeah, we'll do a CDC body. Okay. What color? This will be interesting. So the goal is darker mayfly. So here is a big CDC hackle, big, jumbo size, big as they get. And these are good for bodies. So we will tie in the hackle, and I'm not worrying about thread buildup or taper because the feather will create the taper. We'll tie in the feather and we'll draw it back to the tip, just the tip there, as close as you can get it. You want the tying point to be strong, and then we'll tie it all the way back. This is a good technique. Advance the thread. We're gonna wrap the body. I'll use a hackle pliers on the butt. So we'll do one wrap, no spin. No spin. Don't knock your tail down. And then we'll do one turn, one wrap, 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 one turn, one wrap. Let's get in one more. No, we're gonna add that hackle, so maybe we just leave it. I'll do one more. One turn and a wrap. All right, interesting. Now trap the CDC feather. Let it go. Lock it in. Trim it off. So you have the CDC wrapped as a body, but you have some errant fibers coming out. That's good. You want to incorporate that in the body, so you just trim short. Trim short. Trim short. Trim short. Okay. Now you have a CDC body for your mayfly. My tail is not looking great. Let's do the blended wing. So straight gray, straight light wing color. Good for blind people. But I like a white wing I haven't fished a fly with a white wing in a while. This gray is not great. Let's take some of it off. So I like the wing a little bit like same color as the body. I guess if you're doing like a royal wolf, some attractor dry, you go white wing. And then I'm definitely not doing like high vis pink wings, pink posts. That's sacrilege. All right, we don't need a lot of the polypropylene. So tying it in 50-50, doubling it up, I think that's too much. So we're gonna do it the same thing we did with the CDC, tie it in tip first, and then tie it down. And then we'll trim this back section off. We're not gonna draw it because we'll use the scissors to shape the wing. So let's take off that back. That wasn't very good cut. Take off the back, wings pointing up, that's fine. Find a feather. I don't have like the perfect color feather, I don't have. So I think we'll have to blend maybe a black and a grizz or a brown and I have a dyed grizz brown, but I think it's too much. I don't have the perfect feather. We do have a grizz, which we will use. And then I think we have a black, which we will use since our mayfly is dark. Will the black stand out too much? I don't know. I don't know. So we have a grizz and black. Like a dark green would, I think, be the best, but we don't have that. We'll trim out a tie-in section, tie it down, get the other one. Trim out a tie-in section. This one's a little bit ugly. Cut out the ugly part. Trim out the tie-in. Tie it down. Okay. Let's advance our thread. Wrapping both of them at the same time, I think that would be nice, but I don't want to overpower with the black, so I'm going to wrap the grizz first. That's 3 wraps behind, 1 wrap in front, and then I'll tie it off. Okay, let's do the black. I'm thinking one and one. I'm thinking with the black, just 1 wrap behind. Let's not trap the grizz. And then 1 wrap in front. And it worked out magically good. It worked out well. And then we'll tie it off. Let's be safe. Clip. We're not going to worry about the wing. Don't worry about the wing. Using the hackles and then creating the head, there's always going to be some of the fibers trapped toward the head. Just pull them back. Try to clear that eye. Create the thread head, and then tie it off, and then worry about the rest. 1, 2. 1, 2, finished. Okay. Get the thread. Let's clean up the eye. Now the wing, the wing, the wing. How do you cut the wing? It's 2 angles, but I forget like which is the steepest angle, which is the not steep angle. I forget. We'll just wing it. So we'll do 1. Or is it the other way? I don't know. We'll angle up 1. And then angle down 1. Yeah, that's not bad. We got some stragglers on the back here. We'll take those out. Okay, finished. All right, let's take a look at what we did. So the wing color and the body color match well. There's a good taper with the CDC on the abdomen. Nice long tail, not as splayed as I would like, but the wing is an appropriate length. And then it's moderately well hackled, but I'm not a big fan of the Catskill dry. But occasionally it's nice to have a few others, a few different looks. The CDC style dry is what I'm going for usually. But good to have a little different looking fly. The polypropylene wing will take floating well. So this is a nice pattern. All right, finished. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Ooh. Oh, I got a question. We'll read the question. So, what do you use for the tail again? The feather is called coq de leon, or CDL. CDL for the feather, for the tail. CDL. I don't think they come in different colors. I'll show you the package. They come in little bunches. This is the package of the tail fiber CDL, Coq de Leon, and it usually a nice barred color, natural looking color. You could use this for a variety of mayflies, drakes, baetis. Maybe you don't want to use this for like a PMD, but any mayfly that's not yellow, you could use this. So good feather to have, and it lasts a long time. One feather will last. It has hundreds of little fibers on it, so each fly only requires 3 feathers. So the CDL, you get a lot of bang for your buck. I think it's a little bit pricey, but better than using the chicken hackle. You could do that too. But try to use the CDL. All right. For those who just joined, we're going to stop now. But we tied this mayfly here. It has a CDC feather body, wing, polypropylene wing, and then grizzly and black hackle. Our goal was to make some baetis patterns. That's a little bit large. Here's the one that's more appropriate. It's an 18. It has a dubbed body with a CDC wing and CDC hackle. And then this is the one I actually will probably fish. It has a stripped peacock stem body, CDC wing natural with CDC hackle. So we just did a little bit of little mayflies because that's what I need. Need little mayflies. All right, I gotta stop. See you later. Bye-bye.